I'm going to tell you the best niche for fitness coaching in 2026. The coaches who figured this out are crushing it right now. They're signing clients without chasing anyone. Their content actually connects instead of getting lost in the feed. They're not burned out. They're not stuck to their phone replying to DMs all day. And they're making really good money doing it. And the wildest part is almost nobody is talking about this niche. Everyone is fighting over the same crowded ones. And now you're probably expecting me to say it's men over 40 or busy professionals, entrepreneurs, or new moms. Some market you can go target tomorrow. It's none of those. The best niche in fitness coaching is you. I know exactly how that sounds, stay with me, because this one shift is the reason I built a 240,000 coaching business this past year. And it had nothing to do with a better funnel or posting more content. It was building everything around who I actually am as a person instead of copying what was working for everyone else. Because here's what nobody tells you. Building your business on someone else's blueprint is like following a diet. You can't stick to it. It works for a few weeks, then you crash, and most coaches are running a fad diet version of their business right now without even realizing it. In this video, I'll show you what "you are the niche" actually means, why alignment beats tactics every time, and how to build a business that doesn't burn you out. So let me take you back about a year, because I was nowhere near aligned I am today. So my day started the same way every time. I'd wake up and the first thing I did before anything was grab my phone, watch DMs or go on my Stripe accounts, see how much money I've made. Even though I had, coming in these 2,000 payments every day almost, right? I was still always afraid that I'm gonna miss something, right? I still was like super chasing next clients, right? And I was kind of living this dream life, but I was not feeling great at all. And when it came time to film content, I wasn't excited at all. It felt like a task, like a chore I had to force myself through, because I was pretending to be someone I'm not. I had this mask on, this polished, smart sounding business guy targeting busy professionals and software engineers who I didn't resonate with. And here's why I was doing that. My mentor told me that was the right path. Work with software engineers, they earn more, so it makes more sense, and you're just gonna make more money. And on paper, he wasn't wrong. I was actually making a decent money, but I was so far out of my alignment, it was eating me alive. Here I was, a fitness coach, teaching people how to build discipline, get in shape, build a stronger mindset, and behind the scenes, I was burned out and didn't even recognize myself. I was telling clients to be more themselves while I was hiding behind a mask. That's the disconnect that finally got to me. I started this business for freedom, and I'd build myself a cage with a better lighting. So I made a decision. Stop copying, stop chasing, stop wearing a mask, and build business around who I am actually as a person. So here's what I actually learned from all of that. Most coaches don't fail because they're bad at coaching. They fail because they build a business that isn't them. And you cannot sustain something that isn't you. It doesn't matter how good the strategy looks on paper. So think about it, how it works with your own clients. You give them super restrictive diet that doesn't match their lifestyle. It's not balanced at all. It's just eating rice, chicken, right? They're just gonna feel miserable, right? Eating these boring foods every day. They need to meal prep, and they will not enjoy, right? They're just gonna be like this small dog that's maybe gonna only sustain this diet for 2 weeks. Then he's just gonna binge eat and just gonna be stuck in this cycle, right? And not because he's weak, because the plan was never built for him. It wasn't flexible, it wasn't sustainable, and he never actually enjoyed it. And your business works the exact same way. If you're not enjoying it, content feels forced. You're working with people who don't match you, and eventually you will crash, the same way that client crashes off the diet. You go quiet, you lose motivation, you start questioning the whole thing. So I built everything around one idea. The best niche isn't a market out there. The best niche is you. I call it "you are the niche." And the whole point is to build a business you can actually sustain because it's aligned with who you are, instead of one you have to force yourself through until you burn out. So "you are the niche" sustains of 3 rules that has helped me to build a aligned business. The first rule is build a personal brand, not an information feed. It's basically understanding what is actually a personal brand. People buy from people, not from information. And almost every coach gets this backwards. They think the way to win is to look as smart as possible, take your shirt off, have the six-pack abs, drop the most tips, sound the most expert, prove they know the most. But here's what I've noticed. The coaches trying hardest to look smart are usually the ones struggling the most. Look at the biggest names in this space. Alex Eubank, Mike Thurston, people with millions of followers. Go watch their content. They're rarely sitting there trying to prove how smart they are or dumping information. Most of what they show is their lifestyle, their beliefs, what they stand for, what they're against. That's the brand. That's what people connect to. For example, for myself as well, you can see in the last 30 days, I've generated 1.5 million views for my Instagram. And you can see what kind of views I got. Like one reel popped 176K views. This got 380K views. And this was not anything to do about business or fitness. It was literally my beliefs about my faith or me showing my Bali lifestyle. And people resonate with that so much, right? So you want to do the same. This exact happened to my client Yusuf as well. So when he started, he had maybe 8 or 9,000 followers. And he was averaging maybe 600, 800 views with his views, the boring views. And then in less than 4 months, he has grown his Instagram page to 21,000. And he also now generates with some of his reels like 180K views. But most importantly, he has built an audience that is super aligned. People now see him as an expert in the field. Second thing, let your content pull people in instead of chasing them. Most coaches build their whole strategy around chasing. More cold outreach, more DMs, more ads, constantly going out and grabbing people. And don't get me wrong, those things works. Ads work, outreach works. I'm not telling you to never do them, but that should never be your main focus. Your main focus should always be creating better content and being more yourself in that content. Because when you do that, the whole thing flips. People start coming to you. They're chasing you instead of you chasing them because you're fully authentic. You showcase your life, you showcase your beliefs, and people resonate to that way more. Think back to how I described my old days. Waking up, anxious, chasing conversations with people who didn't even want to buy. That's exhausting and it's backwards. When your content actually represents who you are, the right people show up already interested. And let's look at another great example of one of my clients, Nelly. Last year she came to Bali for just 1 month on a vacation, and she was about to leave to Australia to work a full-time job just to get money because she didn't do any coaching. She was like a certified physio, so she had lots of potential, but she never kind of put herself out there. She didn't put her personal brand out there. And then I kind of guided her, in the right direction. And now in less than 1 year, she has grown her page to 40,000 followers, works with hundreds of French women, help them build their body without lifting heavy weights. She's really an industry leader, has the freedom in her life, lives in Dubai, travels all around the world, because she was really herself in the content. So you can see in less than 1 year, the opportunities change for her life. Same with my client Ralph, who was at the start working with everyone and anyone, but then we kind of switched that because he's a busy dad. He must help also other busy dads because they're gonna resonate to his life way more. He's like a father of 4 children, and if he can include that in his content and showcase not only his fitness side, but also his family side, everything changed, and he just put 74 euros in ads and got one high ticket client just from one ad, which was 1,500, which is crazy return on investment, 15x. That's crazy, right? And that's the power of being yourself. And third component, build a business around your life, not your life around the business. This is the part that most coaches get completely backwards, and it's the same mistake I made. They build their whole life around their business. The business comes first, and whatever left over, that's your life. More clients, more calls, more content, until there's no room left for the actual reason you started. It should be the other way around. You build the business around the life you want to live, and then you actually show that lifestyle in your content, because that lifestyle is part of who you are. It's part of the niche. It's part of what people connect to. Here's what this looks like for me now. A few months ago, I was in Dubai grinding 12-hour days. And recently, I was like in Sri Lanka, Bali, surfing every morning before I worked. And honestly, I've never been happier and more productive. But here's the part nobody says out loud. Freedom doesn't look the same for everyone. For some people, freedom is grinding 12 hours a day, getting 100K months. For others, it's working less, living more, and still making great money. Both are completely fine. You just have to decide which one is actually yours, instead of chasing the numbers some guru told you need. So figure out what your life is supposed to look like first, and then build a business around that, not the other way around. That's the mistake I made for too long. I built a cage and called it a business. Don't do that. Build the life first, and you're gonna enjoy building business way more. Now here's the part that surprised me the most. You think building a business around yourself, doing all three of these things would be more work. It's actually the opposite. It's simple. Let me show you what I mean with the one thing that changed the most for content. Before, when I was misaligned, I had to block out 2, sometimes 4 hours every week just to make content. I'd sit at my desk, open up ChatGPT and try to script something, and it was painful because none of that was me. I was forcing out of this generic business advice that I didn't even connect with. It felt like pulling a teeth every single time. Now, I don't even script anything. I don't use ChatGPT for my scripts. The ideas just flow. I sit down and the content is already there because I know exactly who I'm talking to. I know what my brand is, and I'm just sharing my real life, my faith, my travels, my beliefs. It's not business strategy content anymore. It's just me. And that's the compound effect. That's why this is more simple than you think. When your content is aligned, creating it gets easy. When your content is real, it attracts the right people. When the right people show up, sales feels natural. There's no convincing. And when your business is built around your life, you got the energy to keep showing up, which makes the content even better. Everything feeds everything else. That's the difference between a business you have to force and one that actually runs. Same as the diet. The sustainable one isn't hard. It's the one you actually enjoy and life feels on easy mode. So how do you actually build this? Let me give you the steps. Step number 1, start with honesty, not with tactics, not with content ideas, not with what niche is hot right now. You start by being honest with yourself. Who are you actually? What do you see in this industry that doesn't sit right with you? What feels natural to you and what feels exhausting when you try to do it someone else's way? That last one is the tell. The stuff that drains you is usually the stuff isn't you. Step number 2, define your environment. Once you're honest about who you are, it gets clear who you're actually for. And just as important, who you're not for. And here's the thing people miss. You are the niche doesn't mean you don't have a niche. It means your niche comes out of you. Instead of being handed to you by some mentor who says, go help busy professionals because that's where the money is. Everyone is helping busy professionals. They're all just copying each other. Look at my clients instead. Yusuf was helping addicts, busy professionals. But then we switched to helping Muslim men get stronger in faith and transform their bodies. And everything changed in his business. Same with Nelly, was trying to attack the English market, helping all women. Instead, we help French women build their dream bodies without lifting heavy weights. Same for Ralph, who was targeting every busy professional, but instead we help busy dads get in shape because he himself is a busy dad. And step 3, the most important actually, teach what actually works for you. This is where most coaches go wrong, and it ties back to everything we talked about. They try to look smart. They teach the textbook stuff, track your macros, count every calorie, eat 5 meals a day, while behind the scenes they're not even doing that themselves. So flip it. Teach what actually works for you. If you stay in shape eating 2 meals a day without tracking a single calorie, teach that. If you train a certain way that fits your life, teach that. Document the things that generally work for you and coach people through those things. 2 things will happen. 1, it's way easier because you're just sharing what you already live. And two, you relate to your clients on complete different level because you're not selling them a system you don't use, you're handing them the things that actually work for you. That's how this becomes real. You apply it to yourself, you see what works, and you build your method on that, not borrowed from another coach. So that's you are the niche, and it's genuinely why I believe alignment beats every tactic out there. Let me be honest about where I'm at. What's working is that I'm attracting the right people, I actually enjoy my work, and I'm building consistent months without forcing any of it. What I'm still figuring out is pace. I'm choosing to scale slower, but in a way I can sustain because I'm not building another cage. And that's the real reason this matters to me. I don't just want a business that makes more money. I want that supports my life, that gives me room to train, to travel, to live, and to actually inspire people instead of draining me. Money makes a lot of things easier, but it won't fix a business that isn't you. I learned that the hard way. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be this: don't start by copying someone else. Don't pick a niche of a list because a guru told you that's where the money is. Start by getting honest about who you are and build from there, because the best niche was never out there, it's you. And if this resonated with you, and if you want to build business that actually feels aligned instead of just chasing quick money, send me a DM on Instagram. Just message me the word aligned so I know you came from this video. We'll have a real conversation and see if it makes sense to work together. No pressure, but if you're serious about building a business that fits you, that's the next step.